Hi. Hi. Hey, how's it going? Hi. I'm gonna check that this is streaming, whatever it's called. Live broadcast. Yeah, it is. Here's me. Yo. Hi. How are you? Let's see if anyone's on here. Yeah, Maddie is on there. Hi, Jesse D. Phillips. Hi, good morning. So, I don't know what to say. Pee Wee Herman, the guy who played Pee Wee Herman, Paul Reubens, died. He was a little older than the regular '80s people that were famous back then. When he first got famous, he looked really young, but he was like 32 when he did his huge Pee Wee's Big Adventure movie, and he that was in 1985. He was like 32 or 33 by the time and he was born in 1952. So he died, and I'm gonna see if I can play Pee Wee Herman now. I'm gonna see if I can play Pee Wee Herman now. It's something I'd hoped to do, but I thought he just lived to be in his 90s, and I didn't know if I'd ever get to do it, or if in my 50s maybe I get to do it, to play Pee Wee Herman. So I just filmed it anyway and didn't have the rights to it, and now this is kind of cool. I have I don't know, what are you doing this morning? Hi. I'm gonna look at the chat comments. Or chat. Who's Fez? Fez died too. Who's that? Oh, the '70s show person? I don't know. I might be moving to Los Angeles, and if I'm not moving, I'm gonna keep my house. And I think I just got tired of being in Virginia and not getting to work on movies more, and having to work on homes. I was a little bit tired of working on homes. So this winter, I may go to Los Angeles even if I keep my house. I might go to Los Angeles this winter even if I keep my house. This this was really weird. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I was gonna just stop eating food and get in really good shape. And with the few $1,000s I have, maybe like $5,000 or 4,000 or something, I was gonna or 3,000. I only have like $3,000, or maybe I can get 6,000 or 8,000. I was just gonna keep my house and close it for winter time. I was gonna keep a little camera or two inside the house so like nobody steals stuff. And not that I don't know how they steal stuff because these drums are so heavy, and I just bring my laptop with me, and so they couldn't just carry all the drums, and they wouldn't know where my valuable stuff is, and it's hidden. If I have any that have like one comic that's worth a bunch of money, so they couldn't really steal anything anyway. So I was gonna close up the house, and with like $3,000, I thought I only had $3,000. I was gonna just get in the car and drive there, and I have a free plane ticket that was from flying to Texas so much, and I was just gonna go to Los Angeles. I'd have a place to stay at an Airbnb for any Airbnb I could get that was like $100 a night, and I'd be able to just start working on movies and make money, and then I could keep my house. So I was about to leave, so I thought I'd have to like lose a bunch of weight really fast and get like really good looking because I thought it was too heavy. So I was gonna fast for 3 days, and then I was gonna actually just play guitar. I was gonna bring a guitar, and I was gonna like get like a little amplifier that plays it loud enough that I could like maybe bring this microphone with a microphone stand and a guitar, like this guitar or something. This guitar that fell down, I haven't been playing it, and the other one, it fell down and made a really loud scary noise. So I was gonna do that, and I was gonna fast for 3 days so I looked really good, and I was just gonna play music on Hollywood Boulevard with all this all not fans, but tourists, like everyone who goes to Hollywood to see the Hollywood famous stuff, and they take the tour bus to look at the stars' houses and stuff. I was just gonna go out there with a guitar and maybe a microphone and a little amplifier, like a little portable amplifier, and so I was gonna sing, and I was gonna lose weight like in 3 days. I was gonna stop eating food, so I looked really good, and I was just gonna sing out there. And I thought, I've been playing since I was like 3 years old on guitar, and I've been singing for like since 2004 about, and so. And I can just improvise songs because I'm a writer. I know how to do screenwriting and write my own ideas or comedy, and so I can just like make up songs as I go. And sometimes they come out really amazing if I'm in practice and I've been playing more often, or I can just, if I'm confident enough and it's in the right environment. But I can just play a song right now, and it would, I've played this maybe once or twice in the past year, or a few times in the past year. So I can pick it up right now, and even out of practice, I could play a song, and it'll sound okay. I can just make one up if it's in tune. It doesn't have to be tuned to E. It could be tuned to whatever the first string. Unless you're playing with other people. If I go back and produce it later, I can change the pitch a little bit till it's in E, and then add the other sound, music and stuff. But you'd have to, if you're really particular about it, you could play to a click track, and it would be an exact beat, and then you can add all this these looped sounds, and it's easier to produce. But Chopin, one of the most brilliant composers ever, would change the time signature, like, and the speed of the beat. It would slow down sometimes and speed up sometimes, and it was like a variable speed of the beat and the tempo of the song. So he was one of the best pianists, and depending on what he was playing, like if it was really emotional that time for being slower or faster, if it was slower, then it was important to change the beat. And the way that I played was, sometimes on an exact tempo, and sometimes on a tempo that I made up on drums that sounded really well. Because see, like the backbone of country music is backbone of country, but like when you're playing on drums, that sets the tempo for everyone you're playing with. It doesn't always have to be on a click track. And some of the best music ever recorded that plays on the radio, some of the most famous songs of all time, aren't to an exact tempo. They're not to a perfect tempo. It had a real drummer playing drums, and that's how the band played. It sounds really good. It doesn't change tempo when there's a real drummer in real life who's playing with the musicians. The tempo doesn't change to anything other than what the drummer is playing. And sometimes based on how the musicians play, the drummer can adjust, but that's when it's like generally not as good, because you need the drums to set the tempo, and then it's like almost never wrong if the drummer's really good enough to do that. And I'm good enough to do it. I'm really good enough to do that, but I've been told I'm really good enough to do it. I'm not trying to act like I'm the best drummer or something, but it sounds good when you're actually playing live with a band. It doesn't have to be on an exact tempo to add all these like loop sounds and stuff. You can go back in and produce it and change the tempo and stuff. It requires tremendous work editing the sound, like that I used to have to do, and then I've still done on my best productions, but so I could just play music now. But instead, what I did was instead of getting really skinny and going and just playing music on Hollywood Boulevard, if I can make $550 to $2,000 a day, if I have it loud, if I had it loud enough, a little some kind of a little amplifier and this for my singing and a guitar, or I could just sing and play guitar. I think it'd be loud enough. I may need a little louder acoustic guitar, I don't know, but just this would be enough to make some money. And you can get like a little started researching stuff I can get to amplify this and the guitar, because this has a plug-in on it. So I was just gonna leave, maybe spend like $200 on an amplifier thing out of the 3,000, and then just I was gonna go to Hollywood Boulevard, where they have thousands of people, thousands of tourists. They have thousands of tourists there, and I was just gonna start playing music and making up songs and singing up to 8 hours a day of all original content. And I was gonna bring my tripod and film it on my camera, and have like a 512 gigabyte iPhone, but it's an older one. It's like an iPhone 12, and it's an iPhone 12, and it's getting old, but it still works really well. And I can just get rid of the videos on there. It's 512 gigabytes, enough to film, and it films in 4K. It looks really good enough. So they haven't updated the camera much since I bought this phone. Actually, since the phone before it was the 11, but I got the 12 Pro Max. It was like $1,800 when I bought this phone. It's $1,800. It's the best iPhone they made, and it's just been not too economical to buy a new one. And this was really economical because I've made like hundreds of videos on this. I know I've filmed hundreds of videos on this, and so I could just use this to film for like this. If this has battery, it'll film for 8 hours. But I looked up other people who play on the streets, and they only play for like 2 hours or 4 hours, maybe the most 4 hours. So there's enough battery on here that I can film with this. And I have other cameras if I could bring them. They're too heavy, and they're a little bit outdated. Like the DSLR turns off after 12 minutes. It works for filming movies and has a really good lens, but not for filming, long hours in one shot. So I could just keep this, but the DSLR that I have is good. It films at the same quality of 35 millimeter motion picture film that they filmed all movies on up till the 2000s and into the 2000s, and then they got HD, and it was like a little better quality, I think, or no, it was already in HD, but then they got 4K like in the 2010s, and in about 2008 they're starting to film in 8K, but they hadn't changed the movie projector yet and stuff. So this film's good enough, and my DSLR film's good enough to make movies. It's not like a really expensive camera anymore. It's I don't know how much it's worth, but it's okay enough to film movies. And so I just go out there with this one on a tripod, and me playing guitar and singing. I'd only have to spend about $200 to get like a loud amplifier, so I could play like hundreds of people or thousands on Hollywood Boulevard, and you just put out something that they can put money into, like the guitar case or something like that. And then I have enough money to pay my bills out there and keep my house, and I'd only have to go out there with about $3,000. And so I thought I'd like lose weight for it in about 3 days. So I was gonna do that, but then trying to get the house sold and thinking about, should I stay here or sell the house, and to get more money to be able to stay there longer in case that didn't work. It just stressed me out so much, and I ate food, and then, well, actually the first thing I did was I had been eating food all day. When I came up with that idea, I thought I was just gonna like not eat much food for like 3 days and go there and play guitar, and instead I started lifting weights, and like I lifted the heaviest weights I could that night. I didn't film it. I didn't turn music on. I just started working at lifting weights, all different kinds of weights that I did like about 2 days ago, and I did these huge weights, and then the next day it's like something made me really hungry. I don't know what it was, if I had eaten added sugar or something that gives, or high fructose corn syrup, and it makes people hungry, or I don't know what it was, but I got really hungry. I think my body needed the calories after this huge workout I did. like, and with the heaviest weights I had done for so long. And that was yesterday, so I ate a bunch of food, and I was writing my dad and figuring out how we're going to get the work done to the house. Why did the men not show up? And I had lifted weights so much I wasn't able to carry all the junk out of the thing with a mask on. And I did some of it. I did some of it yesterday anyway. And then I ate so much food, and then I was like, I added up the calories. It wasn't that much, but it was like more food, and I had been lifting huge weights. So then I started lifting weights again. There's a video of it on my channel, but I had been eating more food. I wasn't fasting at all, and I was like lifting really heavy weights. And then I just felt so annoyed, like for 8 hours yesterday, almost every moment for 8 hours. So at unrest and having to think about like how to sell a house, having to look up values of the prices of real estate and here and places to live in Los Angeles, and all this relentless work that like it felt like others thought it wasn't enough work, but it was so I'd have the money to be able to go to Los Angeles. And then I worked out with weights like huge in that video that's on my channel and then a little after I did a little bit more, and it was just, I had already done a huge workout, and then the next day, that morning I had done push-ups, and then I think it was like 2 days, it could have been 3 days, and so my body was exhausted, and I had to use the bathroom from lifting all this weight so much. It was like a huge workout. It made my metabolism way fast. And I had to use the bathroom like 40 times in one day yesterday. It was so annoying. I had to keep washing my hands and cleaning things and keeping the place looking in showing condition. And then all these flies got in here, like a little mouse died in a trap that I thought, I couldn't find the mouse trap in time because I had to leave the house while the guys were working in the house, and it made all these maggots that I haven't seen. There weren't any in there, but they used the mouse to like make all these flies. It was disgusting, but they actually aren't that dirty, because if somebody's out in the wild and they got like a big cut or gash, if you don't want to get infected, the weirdest thing ever, you'd have to let them make maggots out of it, and then they take all the infection out of it, and then they don't have any. So it made like 100 flies, and they kept having more flies, and they kept showing up on a window, and I kept having to open up the window, and I'd let them out one at a time. It was really nice to them, and it was really stupid. I was like making friends with them, and then it was like so disgusting. I found where they came from, and so I had to get rid of the mouse, and and then I put it in one of those. I didn't want to touch it, and I swept it into the mouse trap, and everything's plastic trap. And then I went out in the woods at night, and it sounded like there's some like big creature out there that was in the dark, and it was like down there that other building that's really big at night, and I said, okay, I'm throwing a mouse down there, so he didn't think I was throwing some weapon at him. I could like hear some creature in there. I didn't know if it was big or a raccoon or what. And I said, it's a mouse. And then so I think he thought, oh, it's a mouse that he could eat. He thought it was a live mouse. So when I threw it, instead of going way far into the woods, like to throw it way down there, it didn't go very far at all. It went like 20 feet or something like that, or 15 feet or 20 feet, and it fell like really hard on the roof of that place, and it made all this loud noise. Like I think the neighbors could hear it, because like the plastic trap with the dead mouse in it that was like all dried up or something, it fell. That hadn't got touched, but I took the dustpan that had like a long pole on it. I said, okay, I'm throwing a mouse down there so they wouldn't think I was throwing a weapon at him, wherever that creature was. And I threw it. I threw the mouse, tried to throw it as hard as I could down to the other thing, but instead it just fell on the metal roof down there, and it went ding, ding, and like the neighbors could kind of hear it. It just like, and then it just fell right down. I think there's some animal in there that thought he was going to get to eat like a new mouse, and then it's just a shitty old mouse that these flies were born out of. It was so gross. It was disgusting. And then like 2 days ago, I think I had to spend all day, one at a time, letting the flies out the window. None of them died, besides I think one. At the very end, I got angry yesterday. and I was like in constant unrest trying to think about how I was going to pay my bills and stuff. And I closed one, but I think he even got out and flew away. But so I think none of the flies died. There were like 100 of them. They kept coming. They kept showing up like 10 at a time. And then I found where they were and swept the trap away where the mouse were. And I tried to throw it way into the woods. I tried to throw it way into the woods, but I like warned whatever creature was there. I didn't know if it was like some like Gamort creature that lived out way in the woods that people didn't know about, or if it was a raccoon. I didn't know what it was, but I thought I'll be nice to him, whoever it is. And then, because I've never seen any strange supernatural creatures, but there's like some animal that I thought was like, it sounded mean, and it was like pitch black out there, way out up the whole mountain, like. And so I just went out there and said, okay, I'm throwing a mouse, so he wouldn't think I was throwing something bad at him or an attack me or anything like that. And I was just nice to him, so I thought he'd be nice to me whoever it was. And I threw the dustpan with a little mouse in a trap, and instead of going way far away like I thought it was, it fell right on the metal roof and made this like really loud sound. So it was kind of quiet at night, and then it like fell down. And I was like talking about what happened to it, and I was like, ooh, and I think the neighbors thought it was funny or something, because I had to talk about how it was like an old mouse that I wouldn't get near. I had to put in a dustpan with a long stick on it, and I threw it so it wouldn't get near me. And then the flies, like, I started getting tired of them yesterday, having to let them all out the window. There's one on the window now. If you want to see the fly, maybe he'll be a famous fly. See, there's still one there. There's one or two that are flying around in here somewhere. There are here and there. There'd be like 10 of them on the window, and I had to let him out of the window. Like, let's see if he flies out. He might like me so much he might try to stay. But I talk to him, and I'll tell him, just go out there and have a good day or something, and then they fly out. And then I named them. I named the flies. Like, one of them, I said, oh, he flew out the window. That's awesome. He just flew out the window. Thank goodness he flew out the window. And I'd say something nice to him, like, there goes, whatever his name is, like some famous person, like the cat, like the orange cat that I had. I named the orange cat, like the orange cat that I had. I used to say, good old W. Axl Rose, good old W. Axl Rose, but his name is really Sunshine, and so I called the flies like famous people's names and other people's names. And I let them out the window, like one at a time, or sometimes like a few of them would fly out, and then I have to leave the window or glass door open and stuff, and then they'd finally go out that door. They go out that door if there are bugs in here. They go to that window and go out that way. They usually don't go back out that door with the steps on it. They've almost never done that. I don't know why. And like the way the wind is in here, so I don't know what. And it's like maybe they think it's safer going out up there, or who knows why. And so then I had lifted all these weights, and then and ate more food instead of just fasting for 3 days, because I was doing all this other stuff, like trying to figure out how to sell the house or have enough money. And but I had enough money, but it was only like $3,000, and then I found in this other loan against the house I had a little more money I could borrow, and so I put $800 in my account and had $200, so I had $1,000 more. I had like $1,000. I should have $1,000 in my bank account and have like maybe $3,000 something at home. So I thought that would be enough to just go to LA if I looked good enough, play guitar in the streets. And so instead of fasting, I ended up lifting these huge weights and eating a bunch of food, because I got really hungry after lifting the huge weights and needed the protein for my muscle. And then it like really weakened my body. Something I hadn't hurt my body in 10 years, and it almost hurt my body. And well, I've hurt like little things. Like one time I hurt my leg. I couldn't really jog for about a year. That was like a year or two ago, 2 years ago I think. And it sucked. And so now, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So So I was gonna go to LA, and I haven't shaved my face. Um, I'm gonna see who's commenting or in the chat or something. Hey, yeah, this is a new shirt. I found it in my stuff. There's Addie and Maddie. She said my name. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, no. Hi. I don't know what to say. I'm not like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying not to find like a girlfriend right now. I'm trying to like make sure my bills are paid and be there for her. If I think Danix is not gonna be with me, but I don't know. And so I'm not trying to like look for a girlfriend or anything like that. And she had that Addie person hasn't really written me in real life, but she said on here pretended like she'd be my wife or something, but she hasn't written to me in real life. She's only stayed in the chat comments, and I can't even tell what she looks like. So but I think I think her and her friend are like some young women or something like that. They're like age 18 to 25 or something, or 24 or 20s, I think, from the way they talk, because they were like acting like I was one of those old people from the 80s at first, and then I was like, I tried to act cool, and then they liked me better because I acted like better, or I don't know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And so I don't want to do anything weird, like be in a weird relationship or be in a see, I haven't been with a woman for 5 years, so I'm hoping to one day be with someone, but I don't know if I was hoping to be with Danica, and so I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go, but so I'm not trying to be in a relationship right now. But they just joke and stuff and comment and pretend on the chat and stuff. But they haven't actually written to me in real life or talked to me on email or anything like that. So okay, so I'm gonna go. So praise God, praise Jesus. I'm gonna go. Bye.